Yeah, we about to do it. Watch us get into it. We some lumberjacks, and we needing wood. Yeah, we going for the sweep, then we mop it up. We put it all on the block, and then we chop it up, 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 chop it up. We put it all on the block, and then we chop it up.
It's time, and it's Steve Dalton, the one and only 2023 Personality of the Year for Continental Championship Wrestling, I might add. But let's get to the news. This is the Chopping Block Podcast presented by DJ's Clam Shack down here in St. Augustine, Florida. Don't know how much longer I'll be in St. Augustine, Florida, but we got one on the Tampa side too, DJ's Clam Shack. Love them. Gotta love them. Eat there probably once a week. But now it's time to throw it to Barry for the NFL show on Wednesday night.
You know what? We can't talk too much about that DJ Clam Shack because I kind of want some clams right now. Hey, man. Welcome, everybody, to the show. And look, the first slide says right here, I was watching, I guess it was one of the sports shows preparing for the week of the NFL, and the Rock Johnson came on there. I was like, Rock. And I knew something was going on because I kind of felt like Rock was tied up in this. And maybe this is that his league, the UFL? I mean, that's his thing, right?
He owns the XFL or the XFL.
Well, the XFL and the USFL has decided to do something great and merge. So and create this new league called the UFL, United Football League. And like the slide says, spring us some football, right? We're gonna have football in the spring. And one thing that I learned about this the league, the first game is going to be the USFL champion versus the XFL champion, and they giving us that's the first product that we'll see on March the 30th. And I think that's one of the most interesting things in the world. And one of the things I heard Rock talking about on this is he wanted to be the 54. He wanted his players to be the 54th player on the NFL rosters, meaning that he want guys that are clamoring to get into the NFL to play in his league, and it's almost going to be like a feeder program for the NFL. I've always thought something like that would be great. That's a whole lot of people just knocking on the door trying to get into that league. What better opportunity to put something on film and let the owners see it? You know, I think, if you can get a handful of guys every year go into the league and do some things, I just think it would be awesome. This is another feeder program like the great college football product that we have. What you got to say, Happy?
Well, I mean, it's a great opportunity. There's been a few backup quarterbacks that have come from the XFL and USFL. And like you said earlier, a lot of these fringe players that are right on the cusp of being potential NFL players, this is a great league for them. And to reiterate what you said about the Barry, about the putting out great film, well, that's your opportunity. And then a lot of these practice squad players or guys that got cut in training camp, this is a good chance for them to get back in the league is playing this spring football in the UFL.
Yeah. Hey, Dalton, maybe y'all can get some of those quarterbacks y'all got in Georgia to kind of move over to the UFL to get prepared before they go to the league, like somebody like a Stetson Bennett. What you say?
Well, I got some concerns for this new league, and I'll tell you why. Is the football going to be entertaining? Yes, I think it will be. There's a lot of good players that don't make NFL rosters, and that's been semi-pro football. There's been some great players that have went through semi leagues and arena football that never get a shot in the NFL. So I think that's the concern: is why is this league different? And the biggest concern is Have you ever watched the Canadian Football League? It is so entertaining to watch. If you pick a team and kind of follow them all year, it's pretty cool to watch them. But how many players from the Canadian Football League go to the NFL every year? Not many, if any. I mean, so I think that's you're always going to have the trouble in ticket sales and merchandise sales. And I think they're going to run into that too. But their biggest problem is what makes them different than the CFL and all these other ones. Can they? I just don't know why they're going to be set apart. If that makes sense. Why do you go to the UFL, then you have a chance to go to the NFL, but you can go to an organization that's probably 40, 50 years old in the CFL, and you're not guaranteed even a look by the NFL.
You know what's crazy about this is I know you guys follow wrestling. I grew up in the days of the NWA. Y'all remember the NWA and all those bars, and then you had the WWE come along.
Yeah.
And they took over. Now, I know that is totally different from the NFL, but what I'm saying is I do agree with what you're saying, Dalton, in that you have to have some type of appeal to get people to plug into it. And I think the number one thing to do that, well, I think two things, but you probably only can get away with one. One thing is put some girls out there and in terms of them cheerleaders, show them cheerleaders, because for some reason the NFL is afraid to show the cheerleaders. I think that has something to do with maybe our wives won't let us watch football and it's got too many cheerleaders on the screen. But the real thing I wanted to say is this: get some notable names. Get some notable names in there. A few good players on these teams that's just popular names that for some reason they're not in the NFL for whatever reason. You can pull some people in there.
But Barry, here's the thing, and this will be the last thing I harp on this one about, but I think this is a very interesting question. Think about this. Since 2018, there have been 4 startup, whatever you want to call them, semi-professional leagues, or alternate professional leagues, if you want to call them that, who have all signed big names out of college that didn't do anything in the pros, or they brought professional players down to the league, and to this date, every one of them have failed. You had the USFL, you had the XFL, you had the AAFL. I was at the debut game of that in Atlanta, and you had guys like Trent Richardson at running back. I mean, come on, that's a great football player. So that's the thing that I worry about with this league is I don't see how they're going to be any different. And then the number of teams just seems very, very low. I know there's a lot of money that needs to be into this to make it work, but if you look at professional soccer in America, there are multiple teams at the mid-tier level. They're thinking about putting one here in Jacksonville. Those are $1 million organizations. Why can't there be $1 million organizations in football, but still put out a good product? Without you being what the Cowboys are worth, 5, 6, 7 billion or something like that, something crazy. So that's what I think.
You know what? I mean, you make all valid points, but I have to ask the question: is why is only the NFL? Why does only the NFL have a chance to give us football? And I think that's kind of like a monopoly, and I'm a big time NFL guy, but I'm just saying, I think
everything revolves around views and marketing.
Yeah.
I think the thing is we don't realize this. When NFL gets these bids from NBC and all this and that, the NFL is paying NBC to put that product out there because they have a big platform. Right. Even though the NFL's got a big platform, that's a platform that your everyday viewer can watch.
Yeah.
That's what made the Atlanta Braves big with TBS and Turner Sports. And so I look at it like that too. these teams or these organizations can't afford these big TV deals and primetime spots. And then again, if they can, they're not playing the paying the players, great money. They're not selling seats, so it's just I think it's a bad scenario overall. I just think what they should do is go back to what we talked about in a relegation system. Have these other teams, or start a second league with who knows? I mean, do 20, 30 teams. But if you do that, if you're the bottom three in the league, you get relegated, and the top three from the other league go up to the NFL. I think that would be so cool. You bring in other cities that not necessarily would get an NFL team, and it would spread some of the money around.
That would be cool. But I'm gonna like just see what The Rock can do. I tend to agree with you because it's just so hard to compete with college football and the NFL. One last thing on this slide. Now, they don't really have to get. Now, this is a new day. You don't have to pay CBS and Fox and all these groups, NBC and all these folks anymore. Because guess what you can do? You can strike a deal with people like Peacock, Prime, Netflix that want to do this. So just keep in mind, everybody pretty much already has those subscriptions. So that could be something that The Rock can work a deal with some of these other kind of these streamers to get more eyes on what's going on. Overall, I thought it was a pretty neat thing. We're gonna have to wait and see, but I do plan on viewing some of these games as many as I can. Hey fellas, moving right along. We're gonna bridge a college subject with an NFL subject because you know how I like to do. I like to chop it up and I like to mix it up. Hey, look, he's even sleeping in a bowl. What better to mix something up than in a damn bowl? I didn't even know I was doing that, but that sounds pretty good, don't it? What is the difference in sitting a bowl game out and resting for the NFL playoffs? Because people give these kids such a hard time because they don't want to play in some meaningless bowl. Or we might have some people sometimes sit out a bigger game, the playoffs or something. If you had a chance and you knew you was going to go make some money, some real money, some life-changing money, why should it be held against you to sit a bowl game out? And what is the difference if you're going to be resting for the NFL, resting for the play? What are you reserving yourself for? Okay? Talk to me, Dalton.
So, real quick and easy on this one. There's I'm not going to say there's nothing wrong with it, or if there is. All I'm going to say is this. Sitting the bowl game out to go to the NFL is a business decision. Resting for the NFL playoffs is a team decision. That's all it boils down to. When you're resting for the NFL playoffs, you have a chance to play for something bigger as a team. When you sit a bowl game out, you're basically accepting that the game is just not where you want to be and you don't want to be a team player, or you're making a personal business decision, and that's what it is. But I don't know if there is a problem with it, or if there is. I think the NCAA has made steps to make more bowl games, I guess, matter. Because if you think about it, now you're going to have the teams that are, if they don't make the college football playoff, those players are sitting out. You're not going to have most of that because they're going to be in the playoffs with 12 teams. So, and then the games after that are going to be your smaller schools anyway that are trying to make a point for the NFL draft. They're trying to get one last, look on tape. So I think they've made strides just having the college football playoff expanded that will help that scenario. But that's all I'll say. Business decision and team decision.
That's a great point, about the playoff system. But, you say a business decision. I can't let you off the hook on that one because resting for the NFL playoffs is also a business decision. Okay.
It is. It depends on where you're going to be drafted. I would say too.
Yeah, because you're resting those players for the playoffs so that you have a chance of getting in that ultimate prize, which that ultimate prize, I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but I tend to think if you win the Super Bowl, that's significant revenue coming your way. Maybe Havoc can talk about that.
Yeah, the bowl game aspect, it is going to depend on the circumstance and how important the bowl game is, I would say. And you guys touched on it, where the player is going to get drafted. I think these kids that are going to be third and fourth round picks should play the bowl game, because if they play, they can improve their draft stocks. Now, if you're talking about a Jaden Daniels or a Drake May, those two guys obviously shouldn't play. So the bowl game, sitting out of a bowl game, it is going to depend on the individual. But I mean, Steve touched on it brilliantly. It is certainly a business decision. And then resting for the NFL playoffs, I'd say, again, it's not always the best decision because, okay, here's the issue with resting players. You get rusty. And then we've all seen it. You rest to a week, you have a first round bye, you go out and play a team that's hot, and you have a bad game and you go home.
That's right.
So, I mean, it's not a guarantee if you rest players. So, the difference, I would say they're very similar. Not many differences. It's just going to depend on the situation and who should rest and who shouldn't. Like we said, some players are rhythm players. Like I couldn't picture, for example, Tua resting and then coming out and having a great game after resting. Tua's a rhythm quarterback, meaning he needs reps. He needs a lot of attempts. Tua's not the type of player that's going to come back well off a layoff. Same with any rhythm quarterback. But
I would think, with Tua, all he got to do is drop back and count to 3 and throw it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what he does. But you're right, though, man. I do tend to agree. In a lot of ways, resting, you think about like somebody like, say for example, the Baltimore Ravens, how they rolling, man, and Lamar Jackson. I mean, I feel like Lamar Jackson, in which we're going to talk about him in a little bit. I feel like he's kind of like a rhythm player too. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean? Not just from a timing standpoint and passing, because we know he's a lot. He does a lot with off plays. But what I'm saying is, he gets into a rhythm. He's in go mode. He's ready to go. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with him. But all in all, man, I do agree with you guys in that all of this stuff is about money. No matter if it's a business decision for a personal person or resting for the NFL. I just wanted to make put this out there to let you guys talk about this, because there's a lot of talk about people sitting out and all these things. But like I was saying to a lot of people, you work your butt off to try to go to the NFL, and we know good and well that if you have the right injury, they're not going to draft you. That's going to be another business decision, right? We like you. We love that you tried to play, but we can't use somebody with a busted knee or with a head injury. So I don't hate on these guys as much as some people do, because I realize if I was in that position and I had a chance to make life-changing money for me and my family, I'm probably going to sit that bowl out. And that's just being real. How about them Cowboys? Now, I know Havoc gonna like this slide right here. Havoc. Like I was telling you pre-show, I had heard that Jimmy and Jerry had issues of some sort. I don't know a lot about that. That's why I think this is going to be great for you. What I do know is that the Cowboys is a huge brand. And another thing I recognize is moments. And that was a moment that happened at the halftime of that Lions Cowboys game that really moved me emotionally. And you know, I watched Jimmy Johnson on the show he does with I forget, I think it's Howie Long. And does he do Howie Long? And
The
yeah, he
pregame
was,
show? Yeah,
yeah,
he's
the
good on
NFL
the
show.
pregame
That's
show,
Fox,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, for Fox.
Yeah, so I watch him on there, and he's a brilliant mind. You know, he's a great commentator. I love the way he's even keel. I remember him as a coach, but not so much because I wasn't really into the Cowboys so much as like that. But what I do know is the guy, he knows the room, right?
Yeah.
And when I heard that he and Jerry was going to fix whatever issues they had, and I saw the tail end of his speech, and he said, I wish I had it to show it, but he said, and I got one more thing to say. And I knew kind of what he was going to say. And Eric, the crowd started going, and you see the face that Emmett made, and then you know Playmaker just sitting there ready to go. And he walked right up to Irwin, and he said, how about them Cowboys? And everybody exploded and went crazy. That was huge. That was huge not only for the Dallas Cowboys, that was huge for lovers of the football. That really moved me. Have it talk to us about the Dallas Cowboys, the relationship with Jerry and Jimmy, and what that moment meant to you.
Well, it was a great moment to see as a, lifelong Dallas Cowboys fan. I'm well aware of what happened between Jerry and Jimmy when after winning 2 Super Bowls, Jerry fired Jimmy at a country club dinner.
Wow.
Because some ego BS, Jerry felt like he was, stood up or shown up in person. Shown up's the correct word. Stood up would be, standing up.
What them girls been doing to you?
Yeah, yeah, all the hallways. I can't get a second date. That's another story. But freaking back to Jimmy and Jerry. Yeah, Jerry felt like he was shown up. Then he fires Jimmy Johnson. Then he hires Barry Switzer, and they win the 3rd ring with Barry Switzer. And Jimmy Johnson later on goes to coach the Dolphins. He did a good job with the Dolphins. I mean, he got them to the playoffs a few times, but the problem was Dan Marino was at the end of his career, and it wasn't the right time to go there. So, but going from there to where their relationship was in 1993 to right now, yeah, it was amazing to see, and I think it's going to inspire the team as a whole, and hopefully the Cowboys can go on a major run. This is when I like the Cowboys, when nobody's talking about us, because we tend to fail when everyone expects a great season out of us. When no one sees this coming, we tend to do great. Same with our quarterback, Dak Prescott. Every time I want to love him, he gives me a reason not to. He's like that, you got a girl with large natural breasts and you got a girl with big fake ones. He's kind of like the one with the big fake ones. He's a great toy to play with. He'll put up great numbers, but do you trust Dak against the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs or against the 49ers? I don't yet, but maybe he'll change my mind.
Yeah, but that's a lot of work to do before you can get to the 49ers and definitely to the Ravens. But like I said, man, I thought that this speech and this moment was so huge and so heartwarming in so many ways. And I think a lot of the time people look at football and they only see the sport. But if you really think about it, the sport is the smallest part of it. It's what the sport actually does that's more meaningful. It brings people like us together to talk about podcasts. It brings people together to have events at their home and at sports bars and all these different things. So it's this great galvanizing machine that brings us all together. And another thing that brings a lot of us together that is a little bit different from you is that we get to hate on the Cowboys. Dalton, what you got on this slide?
Well, the Cowboys have looked good all year, and they always look good in the regular season. But you know what's funny? I put them and the Ravens in the same kind of a boat. Good regular seasons and just somehow stumble in the playoffs, and most of the time they stumble bad. So I don't know, but there is promise in the Cowboys. I don't know if they'll win the division. I mean, they probably will. It's kind of hard to tell right now, but I hope we do talk about the last week of the season. Coming down to the playoff scenarios and the matchups we'll have. I believe it was either last year or the year before. Tom Brady's beaten by the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You just never know. The Cowboys could upset somebody on the road. It almost seems like the Cowboys play better in playoff games on the road.
Well, that's crazy.
In Jerry's world, doesn't really go well for them.
Which is weird if you really think about it, because during the regular season they're terrible on the road and fantastic at home. So that would be be amazing. Yeah. Hey, listen, if you're going to win in the playoffs. If y'all remember, we had a slide that said, does the Lion need to go see the Wizard, or is they going to be the Lion King? But right now they're the Lion Report.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody wants to talk about. Did he report? And I still don't know the answer to that. So I'm dying to hear what you guys got to say about this, because I'm still confused. All I know is that to go along with that ring of fire, the Cowboys snatched victory from the jaws of the lion. Maybe or maybe not, with the help of the refs. So Dalton, tell the refs to stop lying.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was one of the worst endings I've ever seen in all of football. That was disappointing. To ruin a game like that was back and forth. Big defensive plays on each side, big offensive plays on each side. I'll tell you this, the Lions deserve to win that game. And in my opinion, that really, really hurt the Lions. They could have had I believe it was either the 1 or the 2 seed. So
they were still fighting for the 1 at that moment, I think.
That's what's disappointing to me. I mean, I'm glad they still have the division locked up. They're going to play football in Detroit in the playoffs for the first time in who knows how long. So that's very, I don't know. I think it's disappointing. I would have liked to seen them have that win. That would have been big momentum, especially of how big the play was. I was watching it in my bed, man. I was just like going crazy. My wife's over here like, man, is it really that important? I was like, yeah, it is. A 2-point play, the tight end, or really ain't even a tight end. The lineman backs out, and it's just a beautiful drawn-up play, ruined by the refs, and that was the clincher. I had the feeling when they were driving down the field, I said, man, the way Dan Campbell is, if they score, he'll go for 2.
100%.
And I think somebody said it in the group while we were watching the game together, and then boom, he does it. And it was successful. I mean, they got screwed, but that's the NFL for you.
Hold on now, slow down now. Okay, you act like you got some kind of back channel, and you know that this guy reported. Everybody I heard say he didn't report.
I mean, there's video evidence showing that. I mean, not only the coach said something to the official right before the play, and I believe the player did too. I don't understand how they're saying that he didn't report. There's even reports saying that the coach brought it up to the officials the day of the game as well.
Yeah.
Hey, if we're gonna run a 2-point play at some point, and the offensive lineman's gonna report, like, hey, I'm telling you right now, look for it, remember it.
Yeah, but that don't matter though, because you can change your mind before the game.
Well, I mean, even the coach on the field, he's videoed yelling at the refs, I told you. I told you. So I think he did report. Think about it, Barry. Why would you go through that much trouble in a play like that, knowing that you have to report and you didn't?
If he did report, if he reported, then why did nobody on the Dallas Cowboys team cover?
Well, because there's multiple people that report. I mean, it's not like they can just key on. They're keying in on things that they see. It could be used as a dummy too.
But isn't it when they report, they have to tell the defense too, right?
Well, you have to report to the ref, and then they announce it out loud. So yeah, the defense will know.
That's what I'm saying. So we have to believe that the ref announced it out loud. We should be able to go and see. These refs have microphones, so why we didn't hear him say 68 reported, and why, if they did, why did nobody on the Dallas Cowboys cover it? He was wide open and never touched. That's what's so crazy about this. What you got on this, Habit?
No, I'm glad we're on this actually. A lot of the reports I saw, and I watched a lot of coverage on this. I saw Shannon Sharp's take, and he had a really good take, which was you can clearly see Taylor Decker. I'm pretty sure that's number 68. He's trying to report to the official on the video evidence, and the official's literally like not paying attention. So the official did not hear Taylor Decker trying to signal to report as eligible. So then what happens is the ref never sees Taylor Decker. He's unaware. He thinks number 70 is eligible. And then that's why they get flagged for illegal touching. And then Shannon's take, which I do agree with, the ref needs to be punished for that. Like maybe not kicked out of the league, but he needs to be fined. Like that was a blatant missed call. And I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. So look, if anyone's happy about the end result, I love getting the victory. I don't care how we get a W, I'll take it. But when you're talking about, was it the right call? No, it wasn't, because you can clearly see, like Steve said on video evidence, Taylor Decker's trying to report to the ref, and the ref is walking back to his spot trying to blow the whistle. And he blatantly either ignores Taylor Decker or he didn't hear him. But Taylor Decker was trying to report right there. And you can, there's plenty of like videos on it too. You can just read.
And what other reason would he be walking towards the referee right there?
Yeah, I don't know what the ref was thinking there. I really don't. And I'll tell you, in all the years I've had watching football, I've never seen a ref this clueless at that particular moment.
Hold on. Maybe he's not clueless. Maybe a lot of this, a lot of folks be talking about these conspiracy theories. Maybe the fix got, maybe this was the fix.
As far as maybe
Jerry Jones told him, hey,
act like you don't see him, yeah.
Like you don't see him. Hey, look, man, if this man is walking towards the referee, he has talked to the coaches before the game, and this is the same guy, because this is the referee, not a referee. This is the referee, right? So what other reason is this guy walking towards this man except but the report?
Yeah, for sure. And Steve touched on it earlier too. Like they instructed the official that they were going to have this exact moment happen if they were going for 2.
But no matter if he had told him that in the beginning of the game,
you still have to report.
Have
You're right. Yeah.
You still got to report.
Which we tried to do, but.
Right. So, yeah, as far as punishment, like, I don't know all the technology. I would really like to know the technology. I think all of the referees have microphones. Okay.
Yeah, they do.
It wouldn't.
The head officials do for sure.
But everybody should. There's no reason why everybody shouldn't be mic'd up. And when we talk about the NFL, a lot of people they don't realize how much technology the NFL has. Like, to do these NFL films and all these different things is a huge deal. So I wonder what's going to happen to this referee. He probably would definitely not end up into the Super Bowl.
Well, he pissed off a lot of people, Barry. Rex Ryan was pretty upset about this too.
Well, let's just be honest. It don't take much to get Rex Ryan upset about anything. Okay? Come on. I mean, it's Rex Ryan, right? So, yeah, man, hey, look, sometimes it takes something like this to light a fire upon our team. Now, it's possible. I don't know the seeding. We'll get into this, but it could be possible that they see each other again. I don't know the seeding and all that. Hey, that would be, because I'm telling you. And one last thing on the Lions for now is, now I will say Dan Campbell probably should have kicked the field goal and gave his team another shot. We ain't talking about that, right?
Yeah.
Regardless, if you get a bad call, you don't make another bad call on top of a bad call, right? But I love the fire of Dan Campbell.
Oh, yeah.
I love him. He's a coach, man.
You can tell he's a former player, Barry.
Oh man, the way that his passion and his aggressiveness towards play calling and all of that, like you said, energy, man. I love that coach, man. But I just don't know what's going to happen, if he's going to have enough. But I really be honest with you. When I don't have a lot of faith in Goff, but that coach it's something about him that can tip it over. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? He got something in him to make the sum greater than the parts. Let's talk about this guy.
All year, every year. Yes, sir.
What could you have done differently that you could have gotten out of that room quicker and got drafted earlier in your career?
Nothing. I'm happy to be a Raven. It don't even matter.
Yesterday does not matter. You're looking forward to today.
I'm looking forward to being a Raven.
What are they getting?
Everything out of me. They're going to get a Super Bowl out of me. Believe that.
Guys, I got ahead. I'm going to go ahead and go to this slide. We'll go back to the other one. Lamar Jackson slid in the draft to a place where he didn't want to be. He didn't expect to be. He felt like he was better. Lamar Jackson, in my opinion, the ultimate underdog. We remember the statement, not bad for a running back. This is a guy that literally, now they all do this, but listens to what's going on, listens to the narratives. And everybody was, not everybody, but some folks that matter told him that he shouldn't be a quarterback. That he should try maybe being a running back. He took that personally. And then, fell in the draft. And that was Dion interviewing him about how he felt. Fast forward to this year, 2023. If we go back a little bit, where he picked up an MVP. And it looks like he's going to win an MVP again. One problem. And Havoc and I talked about this today. So I know somebody already, and I pulled a string in his back, and he's ready to go. The question says, should stats keep Lamar Jackson from the MVP? And before you let that string go, Havoc, I just want to say a few things. He beat Stroud. He beat Goff. He beat Purdy. He beat Hill. He beat Tua. He beat Stafford. He beat Burrow. He beat Lawrence. He beat Herbert. He beat Murray. And he beat McCaffrey. Keep that in mind when you tell me why he shouldn't be the MVP. Let's go.
Well, the reason he shouldn't be the MVP is the same reason he won it before. The reason he won it previously was because he carried the Ravens. His MVP season, he had 36 passing touchdowns and 10 rushing touchdowns. That's an outstanding year.
Right.
This year, his numbers aren't nearly as good. 24 touchdown passes, 5 rushing touchdowns. This year, the big difference, and look, those aren't sorry numbers, and I'm not poo-pooing on Lamar. For all the viewers at home, I think Lamar is a fantastic quarterback. This has nothing to do with my views on him, the quarterback. It's my views on the team that he's on. This is a great defense. The Ravens have had several games where they get 1 or 2 defensive touchdowns. Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen have better numbers and are carrying their teams, and they don't have these kinds of defenses. Now, if it was another year, if it was Lamar's MVP year, he carried that team, and that's the difference. I saw his MVP year. He deserved it that year. He carried the team. He was responsible for almost all their touchdowns, not like this year where they've had special teams touchdowns. They've had a lot of rushing touchdowns from different running backs, and they've had a lot of defensive touchdowns. So I just don't think you can give it to him this year. Now, does that change his status in the league as far as being a great quarterback? No, it doesn't.
Okay, Habit. Let's think about it like this. The wins matter?
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts lost his last 5 games.
Is it really 5 in a row?
At least 4 or 5.
Wow. If it's 5, wow. Okay.
We just have to look it up, but it's been ugly. Purdy lost 3 in a row. Okay? And what I'm trying to say is, I have a little saying that stats backwards spells stats. You can look at them frontwards, you can look at them backwards, and it's still stats. It doesn't tell the whole story. Is Lamar Jackson the best player on the Baltimore Ravens? He is. He is. Baltimore Ravens is the number 1 seed. They don't even have to play for 2 weeks if they don't want to. Just take it off. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can make the argument also for Purdy, right? He's number 1 seed.
Yeah.
But is Purdy the best player on his team?
No.
He's not.
Yeah, but I do want to give some pushback on that. It's Purdy's second year. Lamar's his 6th season? Lamar's a lot further along in his career, Barry.
But it's not a comparison in between the players' careers. It's a comparison in this year.
Well, right. No. I'm just saying the circumstance is a little different. It's slightly different.
Yeah. Lamar don't have a team, in my opinion, like the San Francisco 49ers. And I know you say you think they were the 2011 Ravens defense. Is that what you said?
The 2000s defense, they gave up 10 points per game. This team is the closest thing I've seen to that.
Yeah. Dalton, help us out.
Well, to be honest with you, I think it's either Lamar or McCaffrey. And I wanted to throw a question to have it real quick. If it's not Lamar, who is your top 3?
Well, he's in the top 3. He'd be behind Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen. He'd be third. He's in the top 3. Yeah, he has to be top 3.
But Allen,
Okay.
go ahead, though.
So, I mean, in my opinion, I just feel like without Lamar Jackson, the Ravens are not where they're at right now. So that does it. You know, if he's not the most valuable player to the Ravens, who is? And I think that, you know, he is the number 1 seed in the. They're going to be the number 1 seed in the NFL, right? So, I'm all for Lamar Jackson right now. I think he has earned it, and a lot of us picked him to be the division winner, I believe. So, I think they're right where a lot of people expected him, and if he can win at least one playoff game, he's going to earn more respect.
Dalton, I think he's going to have to win the Super Bowl.
See, I got to push back on that. I think he's got the respect already, guys. Well, I mean, who criticizes Lamar?
Until
he gets praise.
Until you have it.
He gets praise everywhere.
This
man's feeling the love. He is not
this year.
He is not, and I hate to quote wrestling. He is not a heel, man. He is getting all the love.
This year, Havoc. This year, that's true. Havoc, you cannot have 3 conversations without somebody saying, "Is Lamar Jackson a bona fide quarterback?" We had a slide on that early in the year. Has he earned that? This is when I tell you this dude is an underdog, both in my mind and in his mind, in a lot of people's mind, he is. Now, your Josh Allen talk. Josh Allen had to scrap up to get into the playoffs. You're going to tell me he ain't got the defense of the Baltimore Ravens. And maybe that's true. But winning have to matter. It's just like the Heisman. These awards are weird. And I agree with you. How can you give somebody the MVP with numbers that are half of the other folk? And guess what happened? They may not. They may not.
Oh, I think he's got it.
I'd
be shocked if he didn't win it. I don't think he deserves it, but I do think he'll win it.
Why?
I mean, I don't want to call him a golden boy, but it seems like his year. I mean, I don't see him as this underdog, Barry. Think about it. Like, he's a Heisman Trophy winner, a first-round draft pick, and he's been to the playoffs 4 times, and he's only 26 years old. I mean, that doesn't sound like an underdog.
Has he won a playoff game?
Yeah, one. He's 1-3.
That's bad.
Well, I mean, Barry, he's 26 years old.
Have it. Age doesn't matter when you're making hundreds of millions of dollars. That goes out the window. Okay, Lamar Jackson. Listen, and I'm gonna tell you how much of an underdog Lamar Jackson is. Look at all the chatter and all of the events around him, even signing a contract with the Baltimore Ravens to get extended, dude.
Yeah, he should have been extended a lot earlier than
but
that.
He wasn't.
No, you're right, but it's funny that you brought up the age, because one guy you love, Michael Penix Jr. Lamar Jackson's 1 year older than him. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I said to you guys. That now let me correct some things first. It's not that I love Penix, because I've been on the fence about Penix, because I don't know why he reminds me, like I told you earlier, like Brian Leftwich or somebody. He's just so different. You know, we used to knowing what we're looking at. With him, I just don't know. And we have several guys on the College Show that has been saying all year that Penix was the Heisman. Okay? And like, I kept on looking at him, like, man, this dude is pretty damn good. And then what he did the other night to Texas,
Unbelievable.
oh my God.
Yeah. He looked great.
So maybe I have, maybe I'm a victim of the moment.
Probably.
But
I mean, I don't think so, Barry. Think about it. This man did that all year. Well, I mean, why should we be surprised he did it again?
because I think kind of like we doubting him. I think a lot of people still doubting him.
Right.
And
He would be more of an underdog than Lamar, Barry. Penix.
Yeah, but okay, yes, but let's be honest. They have a lot of similarities, but for what reason? Look, Penix gets penalized because of the knees or whatever his injuries.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you, I don't think these people care about the age. The age is not that big of a deal.
They should. I'm telling you guys. Look, think about this. Lamar Jackson. How much longer do you guys think he's going to play? So I think 10 years plus, easily.
Yeah, I don't know, but cause how he play, I don't know.
I mean, the league's getting softer. Yeah, I mean, I think he can play another 10 years.
Yeah, and he always, if you think about this, he always finds a way not to get hit too hard.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. Like Tom Brady was really good at that. Even when you do have to run, or if you know you're going to get sacked, just go down. I mean, I think Lamar is smart. When he can take his chances running, he does. He does well. I wouldn't be shocked to see him play 10 more years. And if he does, he's going to rewrite the history books in the NFL.
Yeah, I think he will. It's like I say, hey, look, man, I'll be the first one to tell you I was on the fence on Lamar at the beginning of this year. I just was, because let's be honest, he's not a great thrower of the ball. Let me say this. He throws the ball better than he passes. The pass, you understand what I'm saying? In my opinion. But he has greatly improved on that to the point to where I'm not questioning this guy anymore about whether he's a quarterback or not. It just looks different. And that's how it is with Penix. It just looks different. So I'm telling you right now, if you tell me he's 26 years old, well, he can play ball like he's playing ball, and he can give you, let's just say, for example, 7 to 10 years. It's still worth it. Give him one contract to sit his ass on. If he's going to give you that level of play, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if Lamar Jackson was not an underdog, then he should have went in the top. He was the Heisman Trophy winner, dude.
Well, he still went. He was the last pick in the first round, 32nd.
Dude, that's bad. For the Heisman Trophy winner, one of the most prolific runners of the football that we've seen in our lifetime with our own eyes.
And usually they go in the first round. So it is unusual for them to go that late. I mean, you're definitely right about that.
I think he is misunderstood. I think they look at him differently than they do a lot of the quarterbacks, black and white. He's just different. He don't come across as a smart guy. Let's just be honest.
Well, and he was a little skinny coming out of college. That didn't help. He was he's 6'3". He was about 195 pounds in college. He put on the weight.
Definitely lighter than that. I mean, that man was a string bean coming out.
I'm hoping Jaden Daniels does what he did.
Oh, he will. He will. Jaden's bigger than Lamar was. Lamar wasn't Jaden's size in college.
Oh, because Jaden looked small. But they said Jaden put on a little weight. I think they had him right at 200 pounds or something like that, a little bit over. But guys, I know we beat this to death, but it's going to be interesting to see what he does, man, because I still believe differently from you in that I don't think one playoff game is going to do it, guys. And I can guarantee you, if you talk to Lamar Jackson himself right now, Super Bowl or bust. I mean, that's how it is, guys. Y'all know that You're not guaranteed to go back.
No, definitely not. I mean,
And if you can't win as the MVP with one of the greatest defense,
yeah.
look, dude, that means something. Just like, hey, listen, that's going to be an indictment on Lamar Jackson if he don't play well, to win well enough to win, and that defense is doing what it's supposed to do. Guys, we're going to have a conversation about we're going to be talking about it, right? You're talking about
yeah. I mean, we would have to.
His contract is huge. So that's what I'm saying.
Well, Barry, we'd be talking about him how we talk about Dak Prescott if that happens.
You're right, though. You know what? We're gonna have to revisit that because you done said that a couple times. You don't lump Lamar Jackson and Dak, and I don't know if I'm ready to do that. But you've done that a couple of times, so we're gonna definitely have to come back to that. Hey guys, we're gonna do something we've never done. I'm gonna have to cue this up, but we're gonna try to do this fast because I know how much Havoc loves quarterbacks. And we're going to go through the quarterbacks because in the interest of the upcoming draft, which I am just like stoked about, dude. I watch mock drafts every single day. I'm telling you, I literally watch these drafts because it's so much, so many things that can happen. I think probably more this year than ever, dude. That's why I want to look at these quarterbacks and y'all tell me what you would want and what you think will happen. And let's just do it as quickly as possible because it's 32 quarterbacks, right? All right. Let's move through this. All right. We probably all cool with Patrick Mahomes, right?
Yeah.
He's going nowhere. Josh Allen, he's pretty safe, right?
Yeah, he's safe.
Burrow safe.
Yeah.
Herbert safe.
Yep.
Rodgers?
Yeah, he's safe.
You with that, Dalton?
We'll see if he can play.
I'm leaning like you, Rodgers. I think Rodgers is something going on there. Lamar's safe, right?
Yeah, he's safe, but they do need to draft a backup quarterback.
You think they just get a free agent, or
like a fifth or sixth rounder would be fine, just to have us some depth.
That would be cool. Jalen's good, right?
Yeah, Jalen's fine.
Okay, what about this guy?
Trevor, yeah, man. Like I'll say this, and we touched on it a couple days ago, Barry. And as a Jaguars fan, Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback we've had since David Garrard. We've had to go through a lot of bad quarterbacks, man. Trust me. Like, he's not going anywhere. In Jacksonville, being the Jaguars quarterback is not the same as quarterback in a New York team.
Is that the new standard? Is that the standard now, Garrard?
Well, I mean, bro, the best quarterback after Garrard was Mark Brunell, and he's the best. Then Garrard and Trevor. Yeah, those have been the standards.
I'm saying that why should the standard be those guys, but they really literally did nothing instead of what's happening in the league?
Oh, so you're saying raise the standards? Yeah, I mean, I guess you'd have to with someone with Trevor's talent.
So what year is this for Trevor?
Year 3, and he's 24. So still
24.
Yeah,
he's 24, and the contract is coming up.
Yeah,
and I've heard some people talk about possibly franchising him and not giving him the money.
I would franchise him. Yeah, that's smart. That Kirk Cousins was franchised for 3 times with the Commanders.
And Trevor Lawrence, I kind of feel like he has actually underperformed from what everybody thought he was going to be. Number 1 pick overall, right?
Yeah, well, Barry, what I haven't liked about Trevor, he's got some Josh Allen in him. He takes a lot of big, reckless hits, and he's beating the hell out of himself. Like, he's lucky. I mean, he didn't play last week, and there's 3 or 4 games he should have missed this year. And if he doesn't watch himself, he's going to be another Andrew Luck.
Well, and the offensive line's not good at all. Let's be honest. I mean, they're not running the ball effectively at all, which is also making it tougher for Trevor Lawrence. Like
Yeah.
I really think people need to pump the brakes on Trevor Lawrence. And for to me, it seems like he's well loved in Jacksonville. Um, I think they know what they got in Trevor Lawrence, and I'll be honest with you, the Jaguars wouldn't be anywhere without Trevor Lawrence the last 2 years, in my opinion.
No.
I'm gonna tell you guys what I said on him so y'all can have some receipts. I think Trevor Lawrence needs a whole lot more than some of the other better quarterbacks in the league to perform at that high level. I don't think he is the difference maker that we thought he was going to be. That I'm not saying he's not good, but doesn't it seem like
would we all agree that he's, in my opinion, he's light years better than Justin Fields?
Yeah.
And they're in the
definitely.
same draft class.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say light years. I'd say better, but I wouldn't say light years.
And I mean, who else from that draft class is
Zach Wilson, Matt
And Herbert.
Jones.
And Herbert.
No, Herbert was with Burrow and Tua
Oh, okay.
the
Okay.
year before. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're both a year older than Trevor.
So who came out with Field? Is some Zach? Yeah, you said
Zach Wilson, Mac Jones.
Hey, look, man. I'm gonna say it like this right here. Look, a lot of people think that for some reason I like get a check from Justin Fields. I don't. And, but I'm gonna tell you this right here, man. If you tell me Trevor Lawrence has a bad O-line and don't have a lot, you gonna have to tell me the same thing about Chicago Bears and Justin Fields.
Oh,
I
I've been
agree.
saying they need to keep him, dude.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Justin Fields to me, well, if we go back and we look at the best year for Justin Fields in college at Ohio State, and we go and look at Clemson, what are the numbers going to say?
Well, his stats were better than Trevor's, but I mean, Trevor, he won a natty. That's the difference.
I mean, yeah, I'm just saying.
No, he had better college stats for sure.
Justin Fields is not a this horrible quarterback that a lot of people like. Now, does he need to perform a whole lot better? Yeah. But does he have what he needs to do that?
No, he's in an awful situation. Like people like Steve said need to pump the brakes. Like he's in a real bad situation, Justin Fields.
But you know what? I think we're probably gonna get to him a little later, but it's pretty cool how that just slipped on in. Kirk Cousins is probably gone, right?
Yeah, they got to get rid of him. He's getting older. He's probably got a few good years left, but that team's rebuilding. Let's be honest, guys. They need to draft a new quarterback and develop him.
Okay, here's the big question: If that doesn't win the Super Bowl this year, what are we doing?
Got to keep him. Just the problem with quarterbacks. Who are we going to get that's better than Dak? I mean, Jaden Daniels. I like him. Can we realistically say he's going to be better than Dak? Like we know.
Yeah, I do. I think so.
For a fact.
I mean, well, we don't know anything for a fact, but
I mean, you're taking, what you're doing. You're taking a $200 million hope. I mean, if you don't ride out Dak for his contract or can dish him off somewhere and they eat part of his contract, it don't matter. You're hurting yourself. So, I mean,
when is
I
that?
think-
Where is he at in his contract?
He's a free agent at the end of the year because he can opt out. So he's going to opt out and get more money.
See.
That's when you got to make the decision. If you don't feel like he's the guy, you gotta go to the draft. Because think about it, the Dallas Cowboys, they could easily, in my opinion, trade a couple players for a first-round pick, and maybe even a first-round, like a top 5 pick to get their quarterback they wanted.
I just think something's wrong with Dak. I do. I mean, I honestly feel like it, man. Again, that is a stacked team. Maybe you
Well,
can
that's what,
improve.
that's what I was going to ask. If Dak goes somewhere else, what success do you see him having?
8-9-8, 8-9.
If that,
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, at some point the Dallas Cowboys going to have to look at Dak and say, hey, I don't know, man. Tua, is he safe? He just got all that money, right?
Yeah, Tua's safe.
He's safe. Matthew Stafford.
He's safe probably for a couple years, but they need to draft a backup. They drafted Stetson Bennett, and then they had to send him to alcohol rehab, so he hasn't worked out as a backup.
Damn Georgia quarterbacks. Sorry, dog.
Hey, I don't, I get it, man.
What
he was
about
in
this
college, damn 20 years.
What about this guy, Deshaun Watson?
He's not safe at all, in my opinion.
He's not safe, but I think he'll be there next year. His contract's going to be too hard to move. That's that 230 all guaranteed. Like,
hold on now. Hold on. Let's rewind back a week. What happened to Russell Wilson?
oh, you're right, but he didn't. Well, yeah, you're saying they could ask him to take a pay cut. Yeah,
I'm saying that they can get out of that contract, dude. They make ways to get out of these contracts. I think Deshaun Watson's in trouble.
Well, let's face it, guys. If Joe Flacco, if he takes this team to the AFC Championship game, do you not think they'll bring him back?
They got to.
I don't know, guys.
They got to.
Flacco's
Hey,
38
listen.
years old. Come on, guys.
It doesn't matter.
He won a
You
Super
got
Bowl.
to let the age go.
Yeah, Steve, he did, man, but that was in 2012.
It don't matter.
He can still throw it. He looks good. Have it. You got to give him credit.
He's looked amazing this year. He should be the comeback player of the year, in my opinion.
What I'm telling you, this. You guys got to start thinking more than age and X's and O's. That's something else called fandom. And if they start saying Flacco, dude, don't you realize? I even saw the slide. I guess Tony or somebody put it out. The quarterback can be around the kids.
Oh, yeah.
What I'm trying to say to you is this. Deshaun Watson's image is a problem.
Oh, you're not lying. Yeah, that's
And
right.
I don't have no problems against Deshaun Watson. But I'm talking about from a business standpoint. You remember the slide? Would the NFL run interference on the Browns Super Bowl? Remember we discussed that?
Probably. And he was getting booed at Browns games, Deshaun Watson.
And so that's a distraction.
Yeah.
And now get this, the more important thing is this. The Browns are actually winning without him.
Oh, yeah. No, they've got a great coach. Their coach is the coach of the year. I don't see how he's not.
And they're winning with guys that make a fraction of the amount that Deshaun makes without the distraction.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, I mean, you take away that contract of Deshaun's, you have a lot more flexibility to bring in bigger names and more defensive talent too.
I believe that the Browns organization is up there right now, whatever they eat up in Cleveland. They're sitting in the boardroom drinking something real nice and saying, how are we going to get rid of Deshaun Watson? I believe it with all my heart. Derek Carr.
He's another one. If they can get rid of the contract, but yeah, he's got one more year left on that deal, guaranteed money.
I say you let him ride it out. I mean, they're not going to be able to do anything with anybody else anyway.
Well, when we get into our mock drafts and things like that, Dalton, we're going to try to figure out if they can make a move. I mean, hell, you can't get no worse than in the NFC South and how they doing. Maybe you bring somebody in and just to get them going. I've seen some mocks that had I've even seen a mock that had Jaden Daniels going to New Orleans. I mean, we don't
last that long, dude. No way.
Hey,
he'll be a top team pick.
Hey, another Heisman winner slid to 32. And you and I both said he reminds you of Lamar Jackson.
Oh yeah.
Geno Smith, he got to be gone, right?
Geno's gone. That I can see them getting your boy Penix. I can see him
I
going
agree.
to
He's
Seattle.
gone.
And you know what? Do you know how much of a blessing that would be for Penix to go to Carroll?
It's a perfect pick because he'll be there later in the first round. Perfect fit.
And Carroll would get the most out of Penix. I
think
really do
so.
believe that. Jared Goff safe.
He's safe, but they've got Hendon Hooker on the roster. I think Hendon Hooker is going to start pushing him next year.
You know, it's crazy, man, that kind of like Jared Goff is kind of growing his stock a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, man. I don't have no beef with the Detroit Lions.
No.
It wouldn't hurt me one bit to see the Lions. Though somebody else said that too. It's like, you know, this is a horrific team historically, and they get a chance. Like, part of me is kind of glued to the old school saying, "Man, I don't want to see no damn Detroit Lions in no Super Bowl." you know, it just feels like a bad Thanksgiving game, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with that. Daniel Jones, we know he got to go, right?
No, he's going to be there. That contract, Barry. I'll bet you Daniel Jones starts at least one more year.
How much money?
He's making $40 million a year.
For how many more years? 2?
Yeah, 2 more years.
Yeah, they probably going to ship his ass. Now, Jaden Daniels, I've watched so many mock drafts that said that Jaden's going to New York.
I don't see that.
Okay, we're gonna have to get into it, but that's what I'm saying. I don't want to see him out there with Dalton balls. I can tell you that right now. I do not want to see Jaden Daniels in New England.
Oh no, that's an ugly fit, dude.
I would not want to see that.
It doesn't fit at all. I don't like that.
Most of them are saying made to New England. That's what I'm seeing a lot.
That'll be a bust. Exactly what we need.
But for some reason, man, people sticking, they almost marrying.
I think they need to go for like a Bo Nix later in the draft, the Patriots.
Yeah. Let's run through these so we can get to the playoffs. Fields, we already done talked about that. We don't know what's gonna happen. We're gonna have to see. Tannehill probably gone, right?
Yeah, he's gone. They got
Russell Wilson, he gone, right? Right?
Yeah, he's gone. Russell.
Mack is gone.
Mack's
he might be on the team. You think he even be on the team?
No, he's gonna probably get cut or traded.
What do you think, Dalton, with Mack?
I'll be honest with you. I think they're gonna cut or trade him, and they're gonna cut or trade Bailey Zappi. There won't be nobody left.
Wow, that'd be huge.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett, is he gone?
He should be.
Yeah, or he'll be the backup. He's not going to start anymore.
Brock Purdy's safe for whatever reason. Garoppolo's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
Bryce Young, you think he?
He might get one more year.
Jordan Love's rolling. He'll be there.
He's there.
Who did I miss? Okay, and then Sam Howell, he's got to go.
Yeah, I'll say I agree.
You know, that's what I'm hearing anyway. And they got like the second pick. So you know Sam Howell gone.
Yeah, they need to draft a quarterback.
Baker Mayfield is earning himself. Only person was on Baker Mayfield was Steve Dalton.
Yep.
And
he
Baker, we're going to have to see. He's going to have to win a game, isn't he?
Not only will he win this game, he will be with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Steve Dalton will be right once again when he predicted the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win the division. And he predicted the Lions to win the division. I don't know how many other ones I've got right this year, but those are the two I'll hang my hat on.
You were damn good on those two picks for sure. Colt McCoy, why did they got him in the?
No, he hasn't played in the league all year. That was
This must be an old slide. I'm like,
it must be a preseason roster.
But Kyler Murray.
Yeah, one more year. Keep him one
Send
more
him
year.
packing. Trade him for a first-round pick.
I'm hearing
You're
a
not
lot.
getting a first for Kyler, Steve. No way.
Oh yeah, you can get
Somebody
a
would.
No way. Not a chance.
first. We're
No
gonna
way.
see. I believe you can
No
get
way.
a first for Kyler, man.
No way. Not.
Okay, we're gonna see.
All right.
CJ's definitely safe, right?
Yeah, CJ's, of course, dude.
And Desmond Ritter,
Man,
he's safe, ain't it?
I want to say give Ritter another year.
No, Ritter ass is gone.
Hell no.
Ritter is
Bro, it's
gone.
his second year. You
It
man,
don't
you guys
matter.
are so impatient, dude.
Next,
Oh my God.
you gonna tell me he's 22. He's
No,
22.
he's not.
Yes,
Have
he
you seen
do.
his hairline?
Hey.
He's not 22.
Ritter is on his way out the building for sure. And Anthony
He'll be
Richardson
going to the UFL. That's what you'll see.
and Richardson is safe.
Yeah, he's safe.
And what about this right here? Let's see. Let me get back to this right here. Playoffs.
Playoffs.
You talking about playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Let's knock it out, fellas. Here's what we got. Number 1 seed, Baltimore, is locked, right? That's locked.
Yeah.
Miami is locked. Is the Chiefs?
No,
locked?
they're not locked.
The Chief is not locked.
Miami's not locked.
Oh no, because of the Buffalo Bills game.
Yep.
Right.
Oh wow, that's crazy. If the Bill beats Miami, it's going to hurt a whole bunch of teams down at the bottom.
Yeah, the Bills will be division champs. And the Dolphins will probably, you know what?
They'll be the
I
fifth
mean,
seed.
Yeah.
They'll
fifth or
probably
sixth.
knock out everybody else.
Well, they'll knock out out Indy
Yeah.
because Cleveland is 11-5.
And Cleveland's clinched. They got an X. They're already in.
That's why I say they'll knock out Indy.
Yeah.
That's the only one you can knock out. But you know what, guys? That ain't gonna happen. Miami gonna put them hands on the Buffalo Bills. Tyreek gonna be so mad. You heard? Did you know his house caught on fire today?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he gonna be on fire.
How many yards does he need to break the record?
I think we said he won't be able to get it because it's about like, is he about like 700 yards off?
away. Let me see.
How much?
I think maybe 300 yards away. Let me check.
Yeah, try to find that for us. And here's the thing, man. You talk about having a whole bunch of Miami Dolphins fans. Look at Houston. Houston needs Miami to lose. Miami to win. So here's the thing. Let's do this. I got the scenario for you guys. Miami can clinch the AFC East. Miami win or tie. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
Jacksonville can clinch the AFC South division with a Jacksonville win or a Jacksonville tie and a Houston Indy tie. And then it says Jacksonville can clinch their playoff berth if Jacksonville tie and a Pitt loss or tie. Look how awesome this is. Jacksonville got Jacksonville in the mix, and they don't want to be.
Well, here's what it all boils down to. I don't know if anybody realizes it. What it boils down to is that Dolphins-Bills game. If the Bills win, it's going to knock out the Bengals, the Steelers. It's going to knock out
Houston,
the Colts, Houston, or the Jaguars' second place team.
yeah.
So there's a lot of, and third place teams. There's a lot of teams getting knocked out just on that one game.
And you know what I didn't know? I didn't know that the NFL do not schedule these games until they see the scenario, because I believe that Buffalo-Miami game, that's a primetime game now, isn't it? That game is supposed to be prime time. And you're right, Dalton. If that's why I say if Buffalo wins that game, it's gonna mess up a whole bunch of stuff. A whole bunch.
Dude, yeah, and back on that, Tyreek needs 248 yards to break the record. To break Megatron's record.
Well, that's not gonna happen.
No.
I say that. Watch it come close. Watch Tyreek have 200 yards. But let's be honest, man. If anybody can do it, it's Tyreek and Tua.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's going to be interesting. Okay, let's switch it over real quick. NFC. Cowboys look like they clinched a playoff spot, but not or is that the division?
Let me see. Go back.
Playoff.
Yeah, playoff.
Because they still can lose the division.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Detroit is good. Detroit is clinched the division, but I still think they don't have that 2 seed yet.
No.
Or they still got a shot for the 2 seed. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cowboys lose.
So here's the thing. Here's where it gets interesting. Tampa Bay still has not clinched a playoff berth. So Dalton might be celebrating a little bit prematurely because
play the Carolina Panthers, and all they got to do is win, and they're in.
Is that right?
That's right.
Tampa Bay win or Tampa Bay tie and the New Orleans loss. Right? Yeah, so they're going to be in. There's no way that they're going to lose to the Panthers. Unless Bryce Young comes through for us, which they got a better chance of snowing than hell. So what else we got on here? Philadelphia clinch with a Philly win and a Dallas loss or tie. Green Bay can clinch. Oh, just win. Just win, Green Bay. You in. Here's who I feel sorry for is the Seattle Seahawks. I want them to be in because I think they'll be a spoiler.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They just got that spoiling mentality. Seattle win and the Green Bay loss a tie. Green Bay is playing who? Minnesota?
Minnesota.
No, they playing Detroit. Oh, Green Bay is playing Chicago. Oh, Chicago don't have a chance to get in, but they can spoil it. And you know what, guys? Let me tell you something. Guess when we're going to find out what they're going to do with Justin Fields? If he don't play that game, you know they shipping him. What do you think?
Yeah, I probably. I hope not. I think they need to keep him.
Well, do you think he's going to play that game?
Yeah, I think he'll play.
He don't even have a chance to win or anything. He don't even have a chance to get in the playoffs. Why would they play him?
I mean, he needs. Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
That's gonna be tight. And it says here that Atlanta can clinch the NFC South if Tampa Bay loses and they win. Wouldn't that be funny, Dalton? That'll come down to me and you. If Tampa Bay loses and Atlanta wins the division.
And that would be something. I'll be honest with you.
That's
and you
crazy.
know what's funny? The Saints are in if they beat Atlanta and the Buccaneers lose.
Yep, that's true. Well, this only means one thing, fellas. We're set up for A hell of a week 18. And I'm here for it. Dalton, take us out, buddy.
Hey, another great show. And like you said, another great weekend. Last weekend was so fun to watch. A lot of implications going on. But this weekend's for all the marbles for a lot of teams. The NFL playoffs are, what you sign up for. That's where you want to be at the end of the year. So we'll see who makes it. And we just saw the college football news. It's going to be Michigan and Washington in the national title. So we'll talk about that soon as well here on the Chop and Block podcast. But thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, we about to do it. Watch us get into it. We some lumberjacks, and we needing wood. Yeah, we going for the sweep.